Welcome to UAB's 5 with 5, where we ask 5 questions to 5 young alumni sharing insight on their transition after graduation. I'm Greg Berry, Assistant Director in the UAB Office of Alumni Affairs. Today I'm joined by Mugdha Mokashi. She has a pair of degrees from UAB. She completed her bachelor's in neuroscience from the College of Arts and Sciences and earned her master's of public health from the School of Public Health, both of them in 2018. She's currently an MD candidate in the Pathways program at Harvard Medical School. Mugdha, welcome to 5 with 5.
Thanks so much. It's so good to be here.
So the first question is, what was the most difficult transition for you after graduation?
Oh, that's a great question. It's actually a pretty easy one. I grew up in Alabama basically my whole life. I was born in India but moved here when I was 2. Besides a few summer internships, I really hadn't left Alabama. And so while UAB was initially just going to college was a transition, just like any college transition was, I felt a lot more comfortable because I was kind of at home in a state that I knew well, in a place where I can get sweet tea most places. And then I quickly packed up and moved to the Arctic tundra of Boston upon graduation to start medical school. And it was culturally very different. Superficially, I missed the food, but very deeply, I missed kind of my family and my friends. Providing medicine in the South was always a dream of mine, and it was really hard to sort of be learning the things I wanted to learn about, but in a place that I wasn't sure how I fit right into. And so that was a hard transition, but I think really finding a community there and finding a lot of people who were actually Southern transplants in Boston was really, really helpful for me.
So what tip do you have to pass along about living on your own post-commencement?
Oh, that's a good question. I think that something that no one really tells you is that in college, making friends is, for me at least, was a lot easier than it is kind of making friends in quote unquote the real world. I got to cheat a little bit because being in graduate program is kind of like being in middle school again. You're all taking the same classes and seeing each other again. And so that I think is huge, is building a social support network. If you're doing something else, like in the workplace or in the military or in some other kind of structure outside of further schooling, I think connecting with people in extracurriculars as is possible for you, like book clubs or like online forums, is a really, really important way to kind of find yourself again. I thought that that was the biggest transition. And I think the thing that made transition the easiest.
What is one thing current students should be doing now to prepare themselves for their next chapter?
I think one thing that I wish I'd done a little bit more of is sort of live the life I saw myself living post-graduation. And by that I mean like really working on a daily routine that brings you fulfillment. I think in college, because your schedule changes so much, and a lot of it is dictated around classes, even my start times and my wake times and when I went to bed was really, really dependent on if I had a late lab or something else. Something that I've gotten into the habit now of is fitting in a morning run where I can, planning my meals out in advance, just getting in the groove of realizing that post-graduation, a lot of your life and kind of how your schedule is set is pretty fixed. And so it's really up to you to fill it in.
What is one thing you thought would be a major challenge after leaving UAB, but it really wasn't?
One thing that I thought would be hard, and I think I've mentioned it already, is I really did think it was going to be hard to leave the South. And I thought that it would be really hard to keep up with my friends and especially my family being very far away. But I will say the thing that I was most surprised by is I was just scared of graduate school. I was really scared of medical school. I thought it would be so hard, so unlike anything I'd ever seen. But I realized that I was in the neuroscience major at UAB, and I realized that the advising that I got and the class that I took actually really did prepare me and give me a really good foundation for what school would be like. And so when I got there, I found I was pretty ready to go. And I was really, really happy that UAB had given me those skills.
What do you wish you would have known during your undergraduate days that you now know?
So I think that I was always very worried about the future. I was really scared I wouldn't go to medical school, even though it had been sort of my dream for most of my life. I was really scared about where I'd end up. And I wish I could just tell myself, like, everything that you worked so hard for in undergrad would really pay off. anything from like the connections I made in undergrad to the networking I did to just the classes I took and the mentors I had. These are all things that got me to where I am today, and all groups and people that support me quite a bit. I wish I could tell myself like, these relationships that you made will help you, and like you'll be fine in the end. Everything is going to work out. So just really trust in that, and trust in the people that want to support you.
What do you wish you would have known during your undergraduate days that you know now?
I think I'm very fortunate that the career goal that I'd always had ended up becoming a reality for me. And it's not every day that you get to talk about how your dream came true, but mine did. And I wish I had known that, because I think it would have reminded me, if I had known that in undergrad, it would have reminded me how important my relationships were in undergrad that helped me get to this point. It would have reminded me that all the hard work I put in was worth it. So anytime I had like a small setback in research or in classes or in just a personal goal I'd set for myself, I wish I'd been able to see the big picture and know that it was going to be okay in the end.
And just that quick, that's 5 for 5. Mugdha, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. And for all those people graduating out there, I want to say I'm really sorry that you're not getting to walk across the stage right at the minute you thought you were. But we're so very proud of you and so happy that you'll be joining our alumni family.
Thank you so much. And check out more 5 with 5 episodes online at alumni.uab.edu/5. That's alumni.uab.edu/5. Until next time, go Blazers.
Go Blazers.